Good evening, traders. Today is Thursday. It's around 11:30 p.m. I've been busy after the close today. I was listening to about 3 conference calls, doing my research. The chart I'm looking at right now is WY. I believe you pronounce it Weyerhaeuser. And what I'm going to do is describe what core model this business follows. And I'm going to be doing videos like this more often so we could fundamentally grasp what these companies do. Because a lot of times you guys maybe have a scanner or see an upgrade and you just basically trade off technicals, and that's not a bad thing. But to get a real edge in this business, to become a master trader and make millions of dollars, you need to fundamentally know the core of the business. So I'm going to start off looking at the chart. This is a weekly chart on the left here. And we have a low, it's saying minus 780. I think that's just a bad print. But anyways, it's been ripping up. This is a weekly chart right here. And we're coming up to the 200-day moving average. Now, just something to point out. What you guys need to do, if you're ever looking at a chart and you just look at the daily chart, that's not enough, guys. You got to look at the weekly and you got to look at the monthly, just to see the main moving averages. The 20, the smaller time frames aren't always as popular. They're good to know, but you definitely have to look at the 200, the 100, and the 50. Now we'll switch to a monthly chart real quick. And you see we have a lot of congestion up here. So not only are we at the 200 on the weekly, but the 200 on the monthly. That's just one of the things I look at when I'm checking out a stock's technicals. I also like to see the volume during the rising up moves and the volume when we sell off and decline. Weyerhaeuser is one of the largest integrated forest product companies with an annual revenue of 2009 of over $5.5 billion. Weyerhaeuser has businesses in timberland management, wood products, cellulose, fiber, and container board. And they also have assets in real estate, which I'll get to in just a moment. Now, one of the good reasons that this company stays diversified in those different segments is if there ever is a time when one of the products isn't in strong demand, they could switch to another product to generate income and kind of even out the balance sheet. And I'm going to give you the pluses and the negatives in this company. The time when this company is the best is when interest rates are low. It allows its sister company, which is a real estate enterprise, and they actually build single-family housing and developing residential lots, which uses the products that it creates. Now, when the demand isn't always good in a few of the different products that it creates, what it does is it will borrow money to maintain the business until the demand picks up and they could get the prices that they want. But by doing that, it creates a lot of debt on their balance sheets. So in 2006, they sold their fine paper business to Domtar, a Canadian pulp and paper making company, giving WY $1.35 billion to pay down some of that debt. Now, what they're really focusing on now over the next few years is getting more into the real estate investment trust business, which would help significant tax benefits. Some of the bad things about being in this business is natural disasters like hurricanes, forest fires, rising interest rates, because if interest rates are rising, it's costing more money to borrow. Therefore, builders will build less and try to get more out of their homes or commercial lots that they're building. And they also supply timber to a lot of the publishing companies, which are now starting to digitize a lot of their segments of the business due to falling subscribers for like getting newspapers delivered to your house and stuff. Now, just to touch on the REIT business that they're trying to get into, the only 2 other timber producers that actually do this is Plum Creek Timber, which is symbol PCL, and Weyerhaeuser, which is RYN. And for a company to qualify into the REIT segment, it must have 70% of its total income from real estate transactions. So that means that if they really are serious about this and it's not just speculation, they're going to try to sell off some of their other segments to pay down some of the debt and have some free capital to get into the REIT business. So that's something that you could look at if you're trying to invest in this stock long term. It has operations in over 10 countries, customers worldwide, and manages around 22 million acres of forest. Now, from a technical perspective, it's went from 1650 in December, which it bounced off the 50 and the 200 and just kept moving up. Then we got that buy signal on the PPS, which caused it all the way to hit 24 just last week. It's going to be interesting to see if they beat earnings. If they do beat, we're going to look for 25.97 to probably be tested tomorrow. They'll probably gap it up over the 24.58 level and then try to run it up. Today the puts were very active, a lot more active than the calls. You saw 5,000 new volume contracts get traded on the 21 strike price. And just by looking at the calls right here and the puts on this side, you could tell that the put volume is a lot more active. So that's something that I do look at sometimes. What I'm in the middle of having created for me right now is a single cell that calculates the entire volume and open interest for the entire strike prices, every single one, not only in the money but far out of the money. I want a total, so it could just help you gauge. Like looking at the indexes, it would help a lot more than single stocks, but going into earnings, if you follow a stock very precisely, it's good to notice where they're trying to put all their strike prices, buy them and purchase them at, because sometimes they're putting on a straddle. And if you see one more side weigh in on the calls rather than the puts, you could kind of get an edge when you put everything together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, and I'm going to keep doing more like this. So leave a comment if you have any questions, and good luck trading tomorrow.